For my first ever bag glove review, I thought, what a better way to start than with the Whopper's little brother. But no, I'm not talking about burgers, I'm talking about the Hayabusa T3 bag gloves. Now, I consider the T3 boxing gloves to truly be one of the most advanced boxing gloves in the world. With its splintered wrap system, it is trying to be the best version of a boxing glove in terms of features. But does its little brother pack the same kind of punch? Now, bag gloves, if you weren't aware, are technically boxing gloves, but are made with much less materials in counterpart to their bigger brother. And the knuckle padding you can see over the glove is just enough to give you some basic level of protection, but also provide the best level of pop you can get in a glove without going bare knuckle. And that is why I and a lot of hobbyists and professionals really love these gloves, because it really is satisfying to hit a boxing bag that sounds amazing when you hit it flush every time. So let's get down to it and see if the T3 bag gloves match up to the expectations of their big brother. Now, visually speaking, especially compared to any other bag glove in the market, the T3s absolutely stand out for being a lot more modern and a lot more aesthetically sleek. Most bag gloves that you see in the market haven't really evolved or even improved their design, since you'd see even Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard use bag gloves on bags. They kind of have the same look. So I really appreciate Hayabusa, at the very least, trying to modernize the bag glove design. The T3 bag gloves carry a very similar look to the T3 boxing gloves, and they honestly, in their all black colorway, kind of give me the look and feel of something that Batman would wear during his workouts. I'm Batman. They look super sleek in all accounts when it comes to their Vylar leather material, and it's stitched together extremely well. The Hayabusa logos on these gloves are very subtle, yet still really stand out, exactly like what you'd expect from seeing the swoosh on a Nike product. My only gripe with the T3 bag gloves in terms of visuals is that they only come in one colorway. Now, I can understand why. It is the first iteration of this glove, and it does come in a few different sizes. So if these gloves continue to sell well, which I believe they should and would, you would absolutely expect to have more colorways out. So Hayabusa, I want to see a bag glove in a Star Wars collection ASAP. Now, I said that the bag gloves come in 4 different sizes. Bag gloves do not come in weights like a boxing glove. They simply come in the size that tries to fit the most relevant hand. So these come in small, medium, large, and extra large. Now, I bought my pair in a large. Thankfully, they fit really well. I'll put my hand fit again in the description so you can see which hand fit will be best for your needs. But now, when it comes to construction, the T3s come with a super short, kind of a hybrid Velcro wrist wrap. There's absolutely nothing worse in the boxing world than being scratched or cut up by Velcro. Thankfully for the Hayabusa T3s, even the male side of the Velcro is not sharp, it doesn't feel rough, and the Velcro on the female side is great. Super soft and grips really well together. And with a combination of having a really strong elastic wrist wrap, you can really give yourself a nice and tight connection to the bag glove. There is a splint in this glove. It is a one-piece foam, but it is not nearly as strong as its bigger brother. If I try and bend this, look how easy that is. There's just no real wrist support in a glove like this at all. And again, this is still better than 95% of boxing gloves on the market, where there's a separation between the foams that provide no wrist support whatsoever. But with the Hayabusa name and the T3 name, I would expect some of those features being brought across to this glove. And I will say, I haven't yet experienced any pain in the wrist from using these. Again, I don't use these more than say once a week. For that reason, I don't want to raise my risk of getting injured, but I would have still loved to have seen that feature brought across to the bag gloves. The profile of the T3 bag gloves is exactly like you'd see in most other bag gloves, however, is a little bit slimmer with the foam on the back of the hand. It's not as puffy and not as rounded like you see with other Thai-made bag gloves. It's nice and slim, the knuckle surface is fantastic, it's easy for me to open and close my hand. Overall, as a profile, very well done. And now that we're done with the outside of the glove, let's start to look at the internals of what the T3s have to offer. And unfortunately, we're starting off again on the wrong foot, I feel. The liner is a nylon polyester lining. However, This is used in all budget bag gloves or all budget boxing gloves that you see. It would have been so nice to find that same inner lining material that you find on the T3 boxing gloves. Nylon as a glove liner is fine. It is the basic setup, but because it is quite thin, you can start to feel the awkwardness or imperfections of a boxing glove inside the hand compartment. You can typically find the awkward, sharp edges of stitching or bunched up bits of foam. I'm glad to say that the T3s don't have this, but again, it is such a letdown compared to a boxing glove that's renowned for its features and aren't carried across to the bag glove at all. I can't imagine the cost difference between having a really premium liner would be bringing them across. I would have much preferred it. It's so much more comfortable. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record. It's just a real shame that so many of the features that make the T3 boxing glove so great aren't being pulled across to the bag glove. Now, back on a positive note, the hand fit of the T3 bag gloves is perfect for my hands. There's a little bit more extra width there for maybe an extra finger. The length is perfect for my hand, and the open thumb design is fantastic. There's nothing more I hate than enclosed thumbs on a bag glove. It feels awkward. This is so much better, and it hides my thumb behind the knuckle padding extremely well. And that ergonomic feeling only is appreciated by the padding that's inside the T3s. There's about 15 mils of knuckle padding over the top. It's about a soft to medium density, but the feedback is phenomenal. I have tried a few different bag gloves before, and these are by far my favorite when it comes to the shock absorption that these gloves provide. And again, no matter how good the feeling of the padding feels on a bag glove, there's still very little. So it's going to be a very honest experience when you're hitting the bag and pads. For some people, that is a love-hate relationship, because if you hit the heavy bag or hit pads incorrectly, you're really gonna feel it. Now, I know I've been pretty critical of these bag gloves already so far, but for 180 Aussie dollars, it is questionable whether or not the value is all there. Yes, these gloves are fantastic, but for 100 to 120 dollars, I can get other bag gloves or even other boxing gloves, which in my opinion, give me more value for my dollar. If I was to take the T3 name away from the Hayabusa bag gloves, I would think these are still an amazing bag glove, especially for Muay Thai training. Now, for the last 6 months, for 1 day a week, I've been using the Hayabusa bag gloves for Muay Thai pad work, and I've got to say they are an absolute joy to use for just such a good feedback experience when hitting the bags or hitting pads. So if you're a boxer or a Thai boxer who's really looking to own their accuracy and their hand speed, and you've got a little bit of coin set aside, the Hayabusa T3 bag gloves should absolutely be one of the top choices on your list. And whether you're just starting boxing or you're a bit of a hobbyist and like to use bag gloves for a light workout, these are an amazing option. Now, on the other side of the coin, if you're just starting a proper combat sport and you're learning the technique, stay away from these gloves. The same if your hands tend to get injured more frequently than others. Bag gloves are a great accessory to have to your training, but they shouldn't be a fundamental item to have, especially if you're just starting Muay Thai or boxing. So before I finish up, I just want to say that I think Hayabusa have made an incredible bag glove. However, I don't think it's worthy yet of the T3 name. I honestly think they could bring some of that same love into this glove, and they can do this by just adding a stiffer bit of foam on the back for better wrist support, or that inner liner just to make the comfort so much more. So that's it for another review, legends. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions regarding the T3 gloves, whether you have a pair or you have any other bag gloves you think I should review, let me know. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you have nothing else to do tonight, make sure you look at some of my other videos. But until then, I will see you soon for another review. See ya.